So good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whatever part you're watching us, welcome to the daily market analysis. Okay, starting with the fundamentals. Yesterday we did not have the news. Yesterday we had the bank holiday for Thailand and the bank holiday for the dollar. But checking today news, we have the interest rates and we had the news for the UD Australian dollar. And we saw the market, or we saw the interest rate. And we saw a rate cut by 25 basis points from 4.35 at 4.1. So we saw that the interest rate for the UD it was cut. Also, looking at today, we have the GBP news. Looking at GBP news, we have the Kilimet count change for the pound. So it's the news that we'll be checking. And also talking about the pound, we have the Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking. And also later at the New York session, we'll be having the CPI for the card. So today is a very interesting day to check on this market, particularly checking on the card pairs as we'll be having the CPI and also be having the Bank of England Bailey speaking. So that's the today fundamentals. So taking on the technicals, diving into the technicals, and we can start with the idea of the dollar. So the dollar, we've been seeing, we had some mixed metrics on it. So talking about the DXY, I hope my screen can be seen. Okay, talking about the DXY, we've been seeing the DXY has been declining. Looking at it on the daily time frame, we've been seeing some sort of head and shoulder. So I've seen some sort of a head and shoulder. From that point, it should be, you can say that is our left shoulder, right shoulder at this point. So then we're speculating for some sales on these are the XY, but also even if we are positioning ourselves for sales, we should be aware of the long term. And talking about the long term, we'll be seeing the other central banks. We'll be seeing the other central banks are cutting their rates. We'll be seeing the other central banks cutting their rates. They've been cutting their rates. And what we can see on the dollar index. So looking at this dollar index on the interest rate, we saw the interest rate remaining unchanged. So the interest rate remaining unchanged. But this week will be very interesting to look at the PMI. So this week will be very interesting to see the PMI for the dollar to see how the dollar will look like. But also looking at the dollar index right now, you can see it's a sort of some pullback. It's some sort of a pullback. We'll see if we can get some if we get some pullback at this point and it confirms for us for sales, we're going to continue all the way to the 200 EMA. So let's see this pullback where it will go. If you get like a pullback to this region to 350 and confirm us for the break of structure, we tested to sell all the way to the 200 EMA. And also looking at the these are head and shoulder, you can see where we'll be targeting these are head and shoulder. It will be at this point. So we're looking at the head and shoulder. We see this dollar index coming all the way to this region where we have. So before it come to here, having 800 EMA. That's on the daily time frame. So it'll be interesting to see how the dollar index will perform. And that's why looking at the major pairs. That's why looking at the major pairs, you can see there's a lot of a mixed reaction. So looking at the group one pairs, can start with the group one pairs and starting with the GBP USD. So looking at GBP USD, that is on a higher time frame. Looking at the GBP USD, that is on a higher time frame. So we can see that our trade is approaching 200 EMA, that is in a daily time frame. But also, yesterday we talked about the trade coming to this region. We talked the idea of a trade coming to this region where we have this structure. Checking at this structure is where we have the 200 EMA. So at that region, we started to see some sort of M patterns. So we tested to see some sort of M patterns and to see if you can get for setups to sell. And looking at it on the lower time frame, that is on a H1 time frame. You can see that our trade is giving us some sort of M pattern. So the trade is giving us some sort of M patterns. And talking about the M patterns, we have different types of M's. And for this one, you can see it is a normal M. For this one, it is a normal M. So looking at this trade, you can see the trade giving us an M pattern. So the trade came and broke and that in EMA. But also, even if you have this M pattern, be interested to see if this market break this 50 EMA. And checking this market, if the market will not break this 50 EMA, you'll be seeing some sort of bullishness and GBP USD. And talking about this pair, if this trade be being held by this 50 EMA, that's mean if it will not break 50 EMA, we see this trade coming on the way to the ADR high, but it's a trade to watch also. So, but right now you can see the trade came and gave us an M pattern. We saw the market breaking the GDMA. So at that point, a person could have entered his trade. And at the 50 MA is where we check in with that 50 MA being broken up. If the market break at that 50 MA, so it's a point of interest, it's a point of view. So looking at that pair, we can check the Euro USD. Taking another pair is a Euro USD. And talking about the Euro USD, you can see that this trade has broken at this 50 MA. So what we'll be expecting on this trade, so talking about the Euro USD, talking about the Euro USD, we are seeing that you had this M pattern at this region, a trap M, so the market breaking 13 EMA and has broken up 50 EMA. So for this one, we'll be expecting some sort of the pullback, the 50 EMA for continuations of our sales. And if we get some clean pattern at this point, we are going to sell this trade all the way to the 200 EMA. And we see the market breaking 200 EMA, we are going to continue with this trade all the way to the previous low. Now that's why we'll be talking about the DXY. That's why we'll be talking about the DXY that we have been seeing. There's people who are selling the DXY. There's people who are selling the DXY, and there are people who are buying the DXY. And that's why the DXY is very, very important to me. It's very, very important to note. And I'm talking about the DXY right now. I'm very neutral on the DXY because you can say that I'm going to short that pair. I have a concern that we are seeing the other central banks are cutting their rates. And also last week we had the inflation data. That it is enticing me not to short the DXY, but usually say make the trend be a friend. So we'll be tested to see if we get some pullbacks on the DXY to see if we can bounce above 50 MA for us to position ourselves for further buys. But also looking at these group one pairs, we'll be tested to see some sort of a pullbacks and for the continuation of a sell. And looking at this trade, the daily time frame. So talking idea about this one on the daily time frame, we saw the market come into this structure. Talking about the structure, we saw this market came and broke these are. So talking about the structure, this is it. So talking about the structure, so that's it. So, but we have seen the market has moved with the idea of the M patterns. You can see that the trade has moved with the idea of the M patterns. So this region, we decided to see some sort of the M patterns for us to position ourselves for further sales. And talking about the H1 time frame, you can see we have seen some sort of M patterns. So we decided to see some pullback at the 50 MA for us to position ourselves for sales. That is on our Euro USD. So that is it on the Euro USD. So another pair we can check is the AUD USD. And in the morning, we had the news for the pair. And basically, it was interest rate. So that's why we have seen some spikes in the market. And for this one, we decided to see some sort of M patterns for us to position ourselves for sales. We decided to see some sort of M patterns. And talking about the M patterns, you're talking about the idea of the M patterns at this point. So you can see initially we had this M pattern, this region, so the market coming to the 50 MA, but we decided to see some sort of an extended M pattern at that region. So the ADR high is going to be tested for us to check for the opportunities to sell. So at the yesterday's high and the year high is where we tested to check for the opportunities to short this AUD. But also something I should note is that this trade has been inspecting 50 MA. So this trade has been inspecting 50 MA, 50 MA. So we just see how the trade will perform. Another trade you can check is NZD-USD. That trade you can check is NZD-USD. The NZD-USD, we are seeing also we had some spikes because of the effect of the AUD. So for this one, also we'll be expecting to see some sort of M patterns at the key reversal region to be a low risk trade. So to be a low risk trade, we decided to see this market coming to the yesterday's highs, to the ADR high, so that we can check for the opportunities to short this pair. So that is group one. So talking about group two, we have the USD CHF. The USD CHF, looking at it on the daily time frame. So we saw this market respecting the 800 EMA. So these are the point that we talked about yesterday. That if you see some bullishness on this USD CHF, it's one of the pair that we can swing trade. It's one of the pair that we can swing trade. But also checking at this pair right now, expecting to get some sort of pullbacks so that we can position ourselves for sales. So at the pullback, we'll be having the pullback for the 50 EMA. Check if we can get some patterns for us to buy. So another trade we can check is USD CAD. That trade you can check is USD CAD. So look at it, this trade on the daily time frame. We've been seeing this trade has been selling massively, But also we talked about to get the buy opportunity on this USD CAD, we should capitalize on it. We're talking about this order block. We talked about idea about this order block and about trading, respecting that order block is one of the trade we can look for the buy opportunities. We're seeing that the order block has been very hold very well. So we're expecting to see some sort of buy opportunities for us to position ourselves for buy. So we're expecting some pullbacks, the 50 MA to position ourselves for buy. So another trade we can check is USD JPY. And talking about the yen pairs, the yen pairs has been selling massively. About the yen pairs has been selling massively. But with this one, we saw the market came and gave us some pullbacks at the 50 MA. So the market came and gave us some pullback at the 50 MA. That is on a daily time frame. And we tested to see some sort of the lower lows and the lower highs. And you can see the market has been giving us the lower highs and the lower lows. So, but also, we saw the market came and gave us a pullback on the 50 MA. So we tested to see some pullback the 200 MA to sell all the way to the previous low. So we're looking for the NPS to sell all the way to the previous low. If the market will break at this region, we decide to look the market going all the way to the 800 DMA. So it doesn't see this market coming to these lows. So that is it on the NPS. So talking about the group 3 pairs, so we've been seeing the central banks has been cutting their rates. We have been seeing the GPP, the Bank of England. We've seen today we have seen the Reserve Bank of Australia has cut their rates. So we've been seeing these central banks are cutting their rates. So, but today we decided to see. So today we decided to see the climate change for the GBP to see how it will go. But also, this is one of the weeks that we decided to see inflation for the UK to see how it will align. Also, the inflation for the CAD, we decided to see how it's going to align. So, talking about the GBP, so you've been seeing that the central banks has been cutting their rates. You see that the central banks have been cutting the rates, and that's why talking about the GPPs, talking about the euros, that's why you are looking for the positions for us to short these pairs. So talking about the GPP card, so we saw this market came and broke these 50 MA. So we expected to see some sort of the pullback at this region, but looking at this trade, yes, you saw yesterday the market closing above 50 MA. So for us, position ourselves on this trade, we'll be looking at it on the lower time frame. So you can see the market has been making the higher highs and the higher lows, the higher highs and the higher lows. So we decided to see some sort of M patterns. We decided to see some sort of M patterns on the GPP card. And I'm talking about the M patterns. So we usually have the three types of buying patterns. We usually have the normal M, we usually have the extended and the trap M. So for this one, we'll be interested to see some sort of uh, patterns for us to look for the safe opportunities. But also looking at this trade is coming to is trying to give us some change of the trend. So we'll be interested to see this market will come to the 50 MA. Also, we can look for the opportunities to buy. You can look for the opportunities to buy. So the 50 MA, you'll be interested to see if the market will hold at the 50 MA. You can be interested to look for the opportunities to buy all the way to the ADR high. So that is it on the GPP card. So talking about the GPPUD, talking about the GPPUD, we have seen the market as a spikes in the morning because of the effect of interest rate. But the idea of this trade we talked about, this trade coming all the way to the previous high. So we tested to see this some sort of the market coming to the previous high. We tested to see some sort of market coming to the previous high. And also talking about the ADR high for us to check for the opportunities to short GPP AUD. So that is the GPP AUD. Another trade we can check is GPPNZ, and the GPPNZ, we saw the market sold very nicely, and I'll be interested to see if you can get some pullbacks all the way to the previous highs to look for the opportunities to sell. That trade we can check also is the GPPCHF, and the GPPCHF is one of the pairs that we have been avoiding for some time because of the consolidation, or this market is raging for some time. So that is it on the GPPs. Talking about the euros, we have the euro card, and the euro card, looking at it on the higher time frame, that is on the daily time frame. So we have seen the market has been held up by the EMAs, and talking about coming to the lower time frame, you can see that the market has been held up by the EMAs. So these are a trade to avoid for now. Another trade we can check also is the euro UD, and talking about the EUD pairs, expected for this market to give us some sort of importance to this region. And what we have seen on this pair is that this market has decided to continue with the lower lows and the low highs, and the lower lows and the low highs. So yesterday, we expected the market to give us some pullbacks to the 50 MA, but we don't see. But today in the morning, we are seeing the market coming to the 50 MA and the 200 BMA. So what are we expecting of this trade? We're expecting to see some sort of the pullbacks that region to the 50 MA, so that we can look for another lower low. So that is it on the euro UD. Euro UD, we're expecting to see some pullbacks so that we can position ourselves for sets all the way to the previous low. So another trade we can check is a Euro CHF. And, the Euro CHF has seen one of the pair that I was still in our watch list, but I expected for this market to give us some bigger pullbacks. We expected for this market to give us some bigger pullbacks, but nothing much. So you can see that the trade is being held by the EMAs, so nothing much on this pair. So not unless we get some bigger pullback all the way to this region to the ADR high, it's going to be tested for us taking for the sell opportunities. And talking about the ADR high, we tested to see this market coming to give us some pullback to this region. So it's ready to see some pullbacks at that region where we had that end pattern. It's interesting to see some sort of the pullback at that neckline. So another trade we can check is the Euro NZ. They're talking about the Euro NZ. So we've been seeing this market go without giving us some sort of importance. So, but for this one, we're interested to see how the market will perform at this region. But also, we can see that our trade is being held up by EMAs. So, we're interested to see this market coming out of the Asian box for us to check for the opportunities. So, that is on the Euro pairs. Checking about the JPY pairs, and talking about the JPY pairs, we've been very bearish on them. Talking about GBP JPY, we are very interested to see some sort of, so we saw some sort of the pullback to the 50 MA. So we'll be interested to see this market going lower and lower. And also talking about Euro JPY, we're still expecting some sort of the sales, we're expecting for sales on this pace. So GBP JPY, coming to look at it on the lower time frame, that is on H1 time frame, expecting to see some sort of the patterns for us to position ourselves for sales all the way to the previous low. So all the way to the previous low is where we expecting to get or to be take profit. So talking about the yen, so we've been seeing the positive growth on the yen, on the Japan economy, and also we're expecting for a rate hike on the Japan. So that's why we're positioning ourselves for the Japan economy to strengthen. So talking about CHF JPY. So the CHF JPY is still one of the trade that we highlighted yesterday, and we talked the idea of this one coming to give us an M pattern. The trade came and give us an M pattern. So the market coming to retest this neckline. So and this what we expected yesterday. So expected this market came and gave us an M pattern. So this market came and tested this neckline. Also in the morning we have seen this market come and test this neckline. So this waited to see some sort of a lower lows and the lower highs. So all the way to the previous low. So that is it on the yen pairs. So you're expecting to see some sort of a sales. The CHF JPY, the GBP JPY, Euro JPY, talking about the CAD JPY, still expecting to get some sort of a sales. And talking about the metals, so we can go to the metals. And talking about the metals, we have gold. And gold yesterday we saw that because of the bank holiday, so yesterday we did not see most of the markets moving. So, but we saw the market ranging. But in the morning we are seeing this gold moving up very nicely. And I've been talking about the gold to get some setups for buys. Talking about gold, you're very bullish on gold. You're very bullish on gold, and that's why we'll be looking for setups to buy on gold. Looking at it on the daily time frame, we saw some pullbacks on Friday, all the way to this region. So, but also we tested to see some bigger pullbacks. Even if Friday we got some pullbacks, we tested to see some pullbacks all the way to the 50 MA. So at the 50 MA is where we tested for me adding long-term positions for buys. So, but also not all the time the trade will come and give us some bigger pullbacks. So also checking on gold right now is expecting to see some sort of a break above the high and a retest for us to position ourselves for buys. So that is it on gold. And coming to look at gold on H1 time frame. Coming to look at gold in the H1 time frame, we decided to see some sort of pullbacks, a confirmation of a candlestick, so that we can align ourselves for buys. Okay, another trade we can check is the silver. Another trade we can check is silver. And talking about the silver, we have been on Monday we saw the market spiking up. We saw the market spiking up Friday. So we've been tested to see some sort of patterns on these metal pairs, so that we can align ourselves buys. So we tested to see some buy setups on this phase. We're talking about gold, talking about silver. So we tested to see some sort of buy opportunities on these pairs. So that is it on so silver. Coming to look at it on the H1 time frame, we have this market. Yesterday we saw some bigger moves, but also because of the bank holiday, we saw the market being headed up by the 50 MA. But today we're expecting to see some sort of buy opportunities. And looking at it on a H1 time frame, we're expecting to see some sort of break above the 50 MA and retest for us to position ourselves for buys all the way to the previous high. So we can target this previous high. And also looking at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we saw these spikes. We saw that spikes on Friday. So, but we expecting to see some sort of the break above this high. We're talking about this the break of these highs. And if you see some break above this highs, we tested to target all the way to the previous, all the way to the other previous high. So that is it on the metals. So talking about the stock indices, we have the S&P 500. And talking about S&P 500, we saw the earnings. So and for this one, I'm looking for the pullbacks. So for this one, I'll be interested to see some sort of the pullbacks. And talking about the pullbacks, it is this region. I'll be interested to see some sort of a pullback to this region for me to position myself on the buys. That is on S&P 500. Talking about Nasdaq, and I'll be talking for this for some time. So if we get some pullbacks at this region, is where it be tested for us to position ourselves for buys. But also at this point, you should be very cautious because At this point is where you usually see the market makers usually takes the advantage. So at this point is where you'll be tested to get our trade with a low risk trade. So if you get a confirmation of a candlestick, you'll be tested to get our trade at a low risk trade and use a proper risk management. So that is on S&P 500 talking about the Jones. We're still expecting for the same, but for this one, we are seeing that still not broken the highs. So we're expecting to see some sort of the break above the high and retest for us to look for buys. Talking about Doge. So talking about the Bitcoin, it is the Bitcoin. So about the Bitcoin, we see the market has been held up by the 50 EMA, and I will be talking this for some time. So what we're expecting of the Bitcoin trade, we'll be expecting to see some sort of a bounce above 50 EMA for us to look for the buy opportunities. So unless we see some bounce above 50 EMA, you're not going to look for the sets opportunities on the Bitcoin. So we're very interested to look for these assets, for these assets for buys. Talking about the Bitcoin, talking about the stock indices, talking about the metals, for these high class assets, we're usually interested to look for buys. So be interested to see some sort of a bounce. So for break above 50 EMA, for us to look for the buy opportunities. That is on Bitcoin. So talking about the oil, So we've been seeing, we have seen some sort of pullbacks on this region. Is interested to look for the sales opportunity at this point. So then I'm interested to see some sort of the sales continuation and looking at this trade, the oil trade, looking at it on the H1 time frame. So I'm interested to look for the sales opportunity, to add sales opportunities on my positions on the 200 DMA. So yesterday the market came to the 50 EMA, but did not give us a confirmation of a candlestick. So we tested to see some sort of confirmation of a candlestick at this region. So and you can see at this region is where we have been some sort of a W pattern. This region is where we interested to see some sort of the confirmation of a candlestick for me to position on myself for the sale opportunity. And talking about the oil we're talking about. So about the oil, we're looking for the sales opportunities. We're looking for the sales opportunities all the way to the previous row. So that is it on the oil. So that is it on the oil. So a disclaimer that this is not a financial advice, but for the educational purposes. So you must do your due diligence and use proper risk management. See you tomorrow at the same time and the same place. Bye bye.